I think it's a great opportunity since this is mostly industry people. You know who I am. You've either hired me or not, or not. And, it's a great opportunity for you just to get to know me a little bit, because when it comes to the acoustic singer-songwriter thing, and pretty much proving it, I'm pretty much the only chip in this cookie. So that's I knew you'd like that lady. I did that just for that lady because she loves dumb humor. Doesn't she? Sit right in the center. I just want you to know me a little bit so that you know who you're booking. How did I come to this music? It's strange for me to come to this music. I was born in Philadelphia, and yeah, thank you so much, Mom.
Your brother's here too.
All right, there you go. It's great. Looking at you calling yourself a brother is really but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. That's really fun. Your brother's here too. My God. Doggone it. That particularly was just taking over, hasn't it? Anyway, when I grew up, it was an all-black neighborhood. That was the part of Philly, West Oak Lane, Ogons Avenue. That's where I lived. It was an all-black neighborhood. The only white people I saw were on TV and at Sears and Roebuck when we went. And then my parents moved to New Jersey, but I found them. And we moved to a suburb of New Jersey called Willingboro. And what Willingboro was one of those Levittown suburbs. And if you're familiar with the Levittown suburbs, they were planned communities post-World War II that people growing up and living in the inner city, if you could rub 2 nickels together and come up with 11.5 cents, you could live in one of these suburbs. They were freestanding houses. Every third house was the same. Ranch, Colonial, Cape Cod, Ranch, Colonial, Cape Cod, Ranch, Colonial, Cape Cod. And it was a different type of family living in each house. Black, white, Chinese, black, white, Puerto Rican, black, white, Samoan. It was the real beginning of a mixed neighborhood. And the neighborhoods were planned in such a way that it was a draw to, like, my dad was the gas man. He was the guy that turned your gas on and off at your house, and then he worked at the gas company. This is all without an engineering degree. He worked on the big machines that pump gas into your house. So he had this engineering sensibility to himself. And he loved the organization of these houses on these streets that never met at a right angle. And not even the curb would come out, rather than bump right down into the macadam like that, the curb would come out and sweep just a bit like that, and it was some kind of Greco-Roman waterway kind of thing that kept the water from just flowing around in the street, and it organized the water down to the next sewer, and that was amazing to people who grew up in a careless inner city. It was genius to get people to move to these areas, and my dad loved it. My dad would be, honey, come out here, look at the water going down the thing. Well, yes, I know it's raining, that's how well, no, I don't have pants on, I don't want him to get wet in the rain, do I? He loved that waterway thing, he loved that. I had a different plan. This was 1968, late. I moved in the fall of 1968, coming into 1969. And things happened that I will say spooked black people in 1968, as you might imagine. And that got trickled down to me. I wasn't but 10 years old at the point, but I knew what the deal was. And I wanted to meet and play with this boy next door, but I was not about to go up and just knock on that door. That is just how I felt. I had never played with white kids. And so this was my opportunity, but I had to go about it in a delicate fashion. So I took this plastic car, and I was going to roll it down this Greco-Roman thing, and knowing that F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration, I knew the car would go shing, 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 shing. I know I hated physics too. Physics made me cry too, but I used it to its best effect. You got to tell that baby shut up. Anyway. So, I had this idea, and that's what I did. I rolled that car on a dry day, and that car went zing, 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 zing. Got in front of this kid's house, and I went and I picked it up, and I was going to check the wheels until he came out to meet me. That was my plan. I didn't say I was bright, but that was my plan. So I'm standing there checking the wheels, and sure enough, he comes out. And he introduces himself. Hi, my name's Gary. I said, hi, my name's Vance. When I go past your house on my way to school in the morning, I look in your window, and there's a sloping thing, and it has candles sticking out of it. And they weren't lit all the time, so don't get mad. And the candles were sticking up, and each day, though, a different candle is lit. And he says, yeah, it's really cool. Each day, my parents light another candle, and I get more and more presents. He'd taken my legs. He didn't know, he didn't mean to, but that's what had happened. He had taken that from me. And I was broken. I was a fat non kind of kid, and I didn't know quite what to do, and I was just kind of broken, and I was going to take my car, and I was going to brag about something, and I was thinking I'd brag about my new sneakers. That's what I do. And I looked down, and my dad had mowed the lawn, and I walked across, and the tips of my sneakers were green, so that was nothing to brag about. And I turned, and I started to walk home, and he says, but I was hoping you'd invite me over to your house. And I said, why? He says, because you have bacon. We took care of each other as kids, didn't we?
Yeah.
How many of you rode your bike with a helmet on? Nobody. Ain't riding bikes with no damn helmet. If you busted your head open without a helmet on your bike, you were just one of those kids that didn't do math, that's all. A lot of kids couldn't do math. That's how we worked it. That's how that was. We took care of each other as kids. Because we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle, fat, buck, tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different views on which superhero had it all, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, little Mikey Lundy had a dad who beat him daily for nothing anyone could ever put their finger on. As if he needed reason, it was always open season on Mikey when he came home late to all the whiskey gone. Now, little Mike was especially keen to be the Hulk at Halloween because he could wear a suit of green and hide the cuts and bruises. Hell, for one night we could all just be just what we wanted to be most. Robber, princess, vampire, ghost, whatever our muses chooses. Because we were brown and tall, Jew and small, freckle fat, buck tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different views on which superhero had it all, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, the older boys would spin us stories of Miller's Field and of a man that crossed old Mr. Miller and then disappeared from sight. And if you squint, the street light on the corner of 5th and Mason cast a 10-foot scarecrow shadow guarding Miller's Field at night. But that didn't stop the older boys from laying flaming bags of poop on old man Miller's front porch stoop and then doing the knock and run. We'd see a leg come from behind the door and stomp it out. And that is all we ever saw of old man Miller as long as we were young. Because we were brown and tall and Jew and small and freckled, fat and buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 different crayon shades should Crayola come to call, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. Now, we hated the candy apples that the Gormans dropped into our bag. They gummed up all the other stuff with their icky, sticky splatter. So Mikey's big idea, of course, let's leave them on old Miller's porch. Shout, trick or treat, stinky feet, and then bang the door and scatter. So here he was, but 4'3" and braver than both you and me, tiptoeing with 10 apples on their dirty bamboo skewers. He rapped that door and how he flew, the fastest 4-foot Hulk we knew, abandoning those treats of goo and all murderous pursuers. Cause we were brown and tall and Jew and small, freckle, fat, buck-tooth flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 20 ways to slap the side of pinball at the mall, but the day before November was the best day of the fall. As Halloweening slowed its pace and we visited every neighbor's door, we snuck past Old Man Miller's place and the apples weren't there anymore. So one by one, with pillowcases, booty filled and chocolate faces, we peeled off from our group for home to make our stomachs sore. The next day on the bus, we tallied peanut butter cups and raisinets and good and plenty when Mikey shrugged and said, "My father never came back home." And we said nothing. We just kept blowing bazooka bubbles and chewing peanut M&Ms instead. The days grew warm and we hit the bikes in shorts and t-shirts, and so did Mike. The only bruise still on that tight was just above his shoe, where a pedal caught him on the shin, jumping a curb in a banana seat Schwinn. That shaver made us all seem braver with all his daring do. He smiled a whole lot more since then, but he never saw his dad again. And speculation has it that that bird just up and flew. But if you pass by Miller's Field at night and squint at that 5th and Mason light, you swear where there was once one scarecrow, now there's clearly two. 'Cause we were brown and tall and Jew and small and freckled, fat, buck-toothed, flat, black and broken, short and Christian, with teeth and hair in every direction. We were 100 different hopes and dreams spray painted on God's wall, but the day before November was the best day of the fall.
Oh, yeah.